Okay, we've gotten our movement out of the cleaner here. We're going to get set back up. There's our other plate. You can see how much better it looks after having gone through the cleaner. So what we want to do next is get all our gears in, and we want to assess the movement for any wear in the bushings. So let's go ahead and start getting the clock back together. So I'm going to get all our gears in place. We're going to slide the plates together and figure out where we need to put new bushings in it. Here again, it's kind of a nice part of taking this apart in an organized manner, laying the gears out. Makes it really easy, especially if you put them in the cleaner in separate trays and stuff. You can go back through and it's really easy to line everything back up in its proper place. Get a couple of those tripped up on me there. There we are. Okay. So next, I'm going to bring my plate in. I'm going to be looking from the side. I prefer to work from the bottom down. I like to start with my lowest pivots and then slowly work my way up towards the top, getting this together. So we're going to raise the camera up a little bit. So I've got a little bit of room to pick it up and work from the side here. I'm going to slowly go and just putting the slightest amount of pressure on the top plate. Because I don't want to cause any of the pivots to be bent. I don't want to scratch the plate any with the tops of the pivots. So just really, really easily I'm going to go in and put the slightest amount of pressure, just enough to drop the next highest pivot into place. Hopefully I'm kind of keeping us pretty well in camera here. Come in with a pair of tweezers, get some of those that are a little further down in, moved into place. Okay. Now we're moving again. I said I just kind of go through and work from the bottom down up to the top. I think we've just about got it. Okay, so now that we have it all the way together, I'm going to put the hand nuts on. Just finger tied at this point. Just enough that we're not having to keep the plates held together. And here in a second, we'll go through and assess it for wear in the bushings. There again, this is going to be similar to how we got that wear in the barrels because of the arbors. The pivots coming through the plates are much harder material, so over time they're going to wear on the brass bushings. We're going to zoom back in a little bit here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through at each gear and kind of simulate them getting a little bit of power. And I'm going to look for wear in the spring, in the bushings. So here we see a small amount of wear in this bushing. We've got a little bit here. We're going to keep going up the gear train a bit. We've also got a little bit here. I'll go up our next train. We can see some here. Let's flip over here. And let's start checking this side. Got here. There we've got a pretty significant amount of wear going. And that's going to be a problem because that's the first gear right off of the main spring. So a lot of power is going to be transferred through that point. So what we're going to need to do is cut that bushing out and replace it with a new one. We have a little bit in the center post, so we'll end up pulling this gear off of the front, and we will put a new bushing there as well. Again, here we're seeing a pretty significant amount of wear. As we are there and there. So this clock will actually end up needing several bushings put in it. In conclusion, for now with this video, what we've decided about this movement is that we are going to end up replacing the mainsprings and the barrels on this particular one. It is more cost effective. Of course, if the customer is worried about keeping it all original, it's not really necessary on movement like this. You could go through and opt for repairing all that. But we did decide we're going to take care of the barrels and the mainsprings. And we've also got a fair amount of bushing work to be done. And then we'll also take our floating balance and we are going to restring it. So that will involve us cutting this steel wire off, removing it, replacing it, because it is fairly gummy inside there from where it's been oiled in the past. So we will get that apart, get it cleaned up, run a new steel wire on it. So this clock will end up needing a full overhaul. And in the future videos, we're going to try and work through taking care of some of the issues that are present in this clock. Thank you all for joining me here today. Comment if you've got any questions or if you have ideas about anything you'd like to see in future videos. And thank you for watching.